friends? How are you doing? So, I just got back from Chattanooga today. Oh, I took a little nap when I got back, but all is well. All is well. So I'm super happy with how the event turned out. And I just decided to give a little vlog on it, give some shout outs, give some thoughts on the tournament, like in general. So let's talk about the tournament format and the tournament itself a little bit. So I can't really talk too much about my experience in the tournament because it was mostly just like we kind of crushed and then we got crushed and we crushed again and then the finals were close, but so I don't know. I don't really want to talk about the tournament too much in my experience with it. But I really want to talk about the tournament format. So I think that whoever created this format for this tournament is a genius. Like, holy shit. Like, maybe some things could be improved upon, but let's talk about the tournament format itself. Now, I should be creating a graphic for this and showing you guys how it actually is formatted, but I'm a low budget streamer, so I don't do those things. So anyway, there's like multiple steps to this tournament. First of all, there's an open, like everyone starts in the open bracket, and the top 16 teams from the open bracket go on to pool play. How do these top 16 teams get decided? Well, you play three winners bracket matches, and then there's 8 teams that go through there. And then you play losers bracket matches until there's 8 teams left in there. And then all of those teams go into pool play. And all of the losses are erased. So there's no bracket fucking in this. Like, I mean, sure, you can get bracket fucked if you're the 17th best team and you play like the 10th and 12th best team. Like, that's the worst it can really get, right? I mean, sure, it can get a little worse, but there's no like, oh, I lost to like E6 and then I'm one loss away from losing the rest of the tournament, so I lost to like some top 8, like some 8th place team. No, it's like I lost to E6 and then I had a pretty easy road to pool play if I'm like a top 16 team. And then once you get into pool play, all your losses are erased. You go into pool play, and if you finish top two, then you go on to the championship bracket. Like, holy shit, that's just that's so beautiful. That's just great. Like, there can be some things like you don't lose from the pool play. Like if you get like third or something, you get top 12, and then uh you start in the losers bracket. Something can happen with that, but that's gonna take a little bit more MacGyvering. But like again, whoever created the format, I should really ask around before I created this, but whoever created the format is just a god among men, man. So really happy with that. And the reason why it's so good is because again, you don't get bracket fucked. You play so many matches, all right? So like Team Randa, they lost to us in the open bracket. Then they won to the like to pool play. Then they lost a game in pool play to like Nemesis, Exemplify, BJ. And then they went game 5 in the rest of their games, and they ended up barely squeaking out of pool play. And then they lost to us again in the championship bracket, and they went to the losers bracket, and then they kept playing. Like, sure, it's a little bit more games, but overall, I think that that format just like completely destroys just double elimination. I mean, double elimination is standard, don't get me wrong, but I think that it can be improved upon, and it was extremely improved upon. So I can't say enough for this tournament and how great it was, the format was. So now that I'm done with that, let's now that I got that out of the way. So the contact with viewers that people came up to me and said, "Hi, like I love your what you're doing with your stream and your YouTube." And honestly, it was like the support I got from you guys was great. I get to talk like the idea that you guys can come up to me at events and be like, "Hey, I'm a fan," and I'm like, "Okay, like where do I go from that?" But you guys came up and like, "Hey, I love what you're doing with this like video. I specifically loved this one that you did, and you talked about this." Like, I mean, Vortex was at the event, and like his team that was at the event was like, "Dude, I loved your video on Vortex, like, and how he fucked up the grenades in window." And I'm like, "Dude, yeah, that was hilarious." And I like explained to my teammates like why it was so funny and like how like again like Vortex is a good player. He's going to these tournaments. I'm pretty sure he got in a pool play if I remember correctly. And like but he just like fucked something up like that small, and I get to rip on him for that. And then we just like rejoice over that. I get to talk to again other people who were in my yeah, my reviews, and then they get to come up and talk to me like how much they enjoyed it. Like they get to say like, oh, my team watched it with me, and like we got to talk. Like we actually had something to talk about rather than just like looking at theater. You actually get to like talk about whether a pro player is right or wrong and explain why, and then just like so much stuff to talk about at these events with the players, and I get to talk about what my fears and what I'm scared of with the Rhino reviews. Like I'm like, guys, I'm not getting enough like submissions, and I'm getting like 5 submissions, like maybe 7 a week, and then I have to cut that down to like two, like because of just games like I get sent gold and platinum games, and I just can't review those games because it's like, well, if you shot better, you'd win. That's basically it. Uh, and then I get games where again it's 3v4 where a player goes 3 and 15, and all I can say is like that guy didn't perform well. That's why you lost, rather than like, or that's why this play went south, rather than like, oh, you messed up here and that's why. No, you just couldn't rely on your player to do what he was supposed to do. That's it. So I get to talk about that with all the people, and then they get to like collaborate with me and say like, "Oh, here's what you could do better in the reviews and basically solve this problem." So I don't know, I just love the interaction with the people who came to the event and just like talked to me about, well, specifically that and everything else really. Like I don't know, I played the piano a little bit and I had some fun. Like yeah, like I don't know, oh, fucking the most interesting one to me was this guy. God, I forget his gamer tag, and I really want to give him a shout out. But he comes up like, "Hey, I'm a fan, man. Love what you're doing. Like, love Halo and whatever." But he's like, and he like shakes my hand. I don't know. He messaged me on Twitter. But anyway, he like has 3 fingers, right? He has his middle, his thumb, and his pinky on both hands, and he talks to me about that a little bit. I'm like, you're able to play the game still, like you're able to hold the controller and actually like do everything that a normal like I don't know, normal hand would be able to do. And he's like, yeah, like I'm able to hold the controller, I can press any button I want to, and I get to have a lot of fun playing this game. Like, and I'm like, dude, that's sick, right? Like that's actually amazing that he can do that, and I get to meet people like extraordinary people like that. Uh, and I mean, not extraordinary because of that, but just like I get to meet like everyone else who has stories to tell like that. Uh, and so I don't know, the interaction with the fans at this event, like just open events in general, it's a lot better because I get to go there and like my main reason for going isn't to like doesn't have to be to win this tournament or to do well with this tournament. It's to just have some fun, right? Like an open land. That's what it's all about. So I really enjoyed going to this event this weekend. So shout out to everyone who came up to me and started talking to me, who had something to say. Uh, Negative shout out to the people who knew who I was, but I didn't know who you were, and you just kind of gave me like this head nod, like, like I don't know what to do with that. Like I see that you know me, but I don't know you, and then just, it's so awkward. So if you want to make me feel awkward, that's what you do, but don't do it. So lastly, this one is more of a personal shout out. Um, this guy's been in our community for forever. He gets some shit, but honestly, he's just he's so genuine, man. So I get to document my interactions with the one, the only Proverb, tournament organizer for I don't know, he was for Iron Gamings. He's done so many things in the past tournaments, just everything behind the scenes. I mean, he's even like in the scenes. He does whatever is necessary, really. So I get to talk about my interactions with him. So we get to the tournament and he's like, "Yeah, there's 64 teams signed up. They ended up only having 40 teams come, but there's 64 teams passes sold." And I look at the schedule for the tournament. I'm like, I like to have a little bit of fun with Proverb. We talk shit to each other, like to poke fun at each other. I'm like, dude, I don't think this tournament's gonna go as well as you want it to. And he said like he's like, no, it's gonna go fine, look at the schedule, like everything's gonna be fine. I'm like, dude, no, the schedule, something bad's gonna happen at this event, and it's not gonna go the way it should be going, right? Well, Sunday morning happens, and my God. So we get thrown on the main stage 10 a.m. because the night before, Bocce Hawk from Team Panda Gaming robbed the Turtles team, who actually like I did a film review of. So again, like these players that I'm doing film review of, they go to tournaments and they play against me. So love that shit. So anyway, uh, Sunday morning comes along and Twitch just stops working for them. Like they can't connect to Twitch, they can't get the stream live, and so the tournament gets delayed like an hour. And then like the tournament gets delayed even more just for like random stuff going on. Like the mix amp's not working. I hear this like metronome in my headset, and so we have to get that fixed. And like the hardworking son of a bitch that he is, he's always on top of things. And but I told him like Saturday, I'm like, dude, there's gonna be some delays in your tournament, like shit's gonna go south. And I was right. We did end up finishing at like midnight or 11 o'clock. Yeah, I think around 11 o'clock. And if we would have gone 2 series, it could have been midnight. So I just want to say I was like half right. I'd say it's a tie. The tournament did not go as well as expected, as it ended at like 11 o'clock. No tournament should end at 11 o'clock. Man, people got after parties to go to, man. People to hang around and talk to rather than just like being at the event the entire time. Anyway, but like, dude, this guy just like goes off at these tournaments. Like, he again, he does everything. Like, he's the tournament organizer. He runs the tournament. And the fact that he's able to like run a tournament like this with all the like small and large problems that happen, and for him to get the tournament done on Sunday was actually like some damn fine work. So I have to give a shout out to him. The only other thing that probably behind the scenes doesn't know is the loser semis were going on between like Weed Maps Gaming and Infamous Gaming, I think. Anyway, we're like this was a hyped ass series. Like they end up going to game 4. Infamous are up 2-1 on Weed Maps, and Weed Maps have this like they beat Team Randa in pool play, and they're like because they beat Team Randa, they're looking really strong, and they might even be the third best team in the game in the tournament. And then Infamous come up and they're 2-1 up, and so main stage was done like 30 minutes ago, and it's 2-1 right now for Weed Maps versus Infamous, and I was over doing my own things like with my team and with the caster Butters. But so I go over to Proverb and we're watching the series. I'm like, why aren't we like putting this on like go on a main stage, spectate with one of the Xboxes and then commentate over that? And he's like, well, because oh shit. So he fucking takes off and like goes on main stage. He starts like plugging in his controller. But unfortunately, like 5 minutes later, the game ends and Infamous win. But if Game 5 would have happened, you guys would have been able to see it because of that suggestion. But it was just like the funny shit that like I guess the best way to describe Proverb is like he's the best. I I don't know which way it would go, but like again, I give him high credit. So it's the same thing as Randa Shaw. It's like the best worst tournament organizer in the world, man. Like he's hilarious. Like he's such a good tournament organizer, but something always goes wrong, and like I don't know, some things just slip through the cracks. But like just love the guy, and honestly, just wanted to give a huge shout out to him. Didn't want to make this vlog too long. It ends up being a little bit longer than I wanted it to. Um, so again, shout out to everyone who came up to me. Shout out to Caster Butters, and basically everyone else. Like everyone at the tournament did such a good job. It was a well-run tournament, like not too many problems. And for an open tournament, like the amount of support that we had, let's see if we can keep it going for these next couple of open tournaments in California, St. Louis, and Las Vegas. So hope to see everyone at each one of those tournaments as I hope to be going to all of them. And see you guys then. Don't have anything else to talk about. Bye.